87% of realtors that get into the business get out of the business after 2 years. That does not exist in our world.
We have massive visions around growing our businesses, and we are always looking to add talent to our world. We do everything in our power to ensure the people we surround ourselves with defy the odds, get into production, and build massive lives for themselves.
We have interviewed some of the top realtors in the world. If you're a new realtor, a top producer, or CEO of a mega team, SalesBeast Podcast is your blueprint for success.
With locations all across Canada, reach out to us to talk about partnership and opportunities. We are looking forward to it.
Yes, I'm the boss.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of SalesBeast. And today, Mike and I are going to be focusing on objections and dealing with clients that potentially have stalls and are willing to talk about it with us. But at the end of the day, understanding the best conversations that we can have to get them to the point of working with us. So Mike, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
What do we want to focus on this? I know that this was a special request by one of our listeners, and we want to make sure that we cover, specifically around cold calling, some objections. What else do you think will be valuable?
So when I look at how this business tends to flow, at least how it flowed for me, I was a transplant in the city where I operate. I knew absolutely nobody. So it was important for me to get out in the community and meet people as quickly as possible. Once I met them, then they were in my database, and I would love on them until they were ready to transact, and hopefully that helped me. So what if we start with prospecting, either at the door, over the telephone, open house?
Yeah, I think that first contact, however it happens, whether it's on the phone, like you said, or in person, it's always cold. We need to build a rapport with that person. And that's always the first step, is build rapport, allow someone to kind of break their walls and trust us. Mm-hmm. So how do we do that on the phone? What's really important for us to do on the phone when we're chatting with someone to make sure that we build that trust?
So my philosophy, it might be different than other people's. I was very much into the numbers game. My mindset was the more people I speak to and the faster I speak to them, the more likely I am to get a piece of business quickly. It was funny. We were at an event not too long ago, maybe a month ago, and one of the ladies I work with, they were nervous about going up to people and speaking to these strangers. So I told them, how about we play a game? Rather than going to these strangers and asking them if they have any real estate plans, and being fearful of rejection, what if we play a game and we'll go speak to these people, and the first one to get 10 people to say no to us wins a contest. And I'll buy you lunch, but I'm going to beat you. I'm going to get more no's faster than you, so you're going to have to buy me lunch. And that simple mindset shift changed this person's whole mentality around speaking to people. And I could see she was so anxious in the beginning. And from the moment we started this game, she ran through that room talking to people as quickly as possible because she wanted to beat me by getting as many no's as quick as possible. What I found by the end of the day was that she got a ton of yeses, not because she was hunting for yeses, but because she was hunting for no's. So that's what I always did. I started my business on the telephone. So to get contacts quickly, I would start, how about we role play it?
Yeah, let's do it. And I would agree with you. It comes down to getting in front of as many people as possible, because for every 100 people that you do end up speaking with, you're still going to have the 1 or 2 or 3 yeses.
Absolutely. So I'll share with you the way I call people. I don't know if this is the right way to do it, the wrong way to do it, but it worked for me. It led to a ton of deals in my first year. So give it a try, guys. I think it's pretty effective. So ring, ring.
Hello.
Hello, my name is Mike. I'm calling from blah, 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 real estate.
Oh, okay. What's going on, Mike?
Not too much. We're going to be in your area doing a home evaluation, and I was wondering if you'd be interested in finding out the value of your home.
Oh, Mike, I'm not really ready to move right now. I'm just starting to get settled into this neighborhood right now.
Okay, that's fantastic. Did you just move to this neighborhood?
No, we've been here for about 5 years, but I mean, through COVID and everything, I feel like finally we're starting to get to know the area.
Okay, and I heard you say you're not ready to move yet. When do you think you'll be ready to move?
Well, I think our intention is probably to buy something again, probably in another area, and then sell this home. But we want to get a bigger property.
Okay, and what's your timeline look like on that?
We don't really have a timeline yet. We've just started throwing the idea up in the air and just knowing that probably in a year or two, we're going to have another kid.
Okay.
We'll start looking for a bigger property.
I can totally get that. You have a kid already, it sounds like?
Yeah, we have two.
Nice. Same with me. How old are your kids?
6 and 7.
Oh, okay, you must be very busy.
Yeah.
Now, what is moving to that bigger property going to bring to your life and to your kids' life?
Well, just more space for them and ultimately not as crunched in a spot, just a bigger home that we can grow into.
Okay. I could totally relate. Why is that important to you?
I think it's important to us because we moved from a condo into a house and now we want to have a bigger house to continue to grow. We don't really have a backyard. So we'd like to have a backyard to run around and play with the kids in.
Okay. And what needs to happen in order for you to move to that bigger house?
Well, I think we need to be in a place, like a mindset to make that change. Like I said, we're still kind of settling into the neighborhood. I don't know if we want to uproot just yet. But I also think it's we don't really know what's going on in the market either. So it's hard for us to say when we would be ready.
Okay. If I could show you how you could potentially move to that larger home in the market we're in today, put some money in your pocket in the process, would that be of interest to you?
Yeah, I think we'd be interested to hear about what that would look like.
Okay, that's exactly why we need to meet. So I'm available tomorrow too, or I can do the following day at 3. What works best for you?
Oh, well, I have to check with my husband. Could you maybe follow up with me later?
Absolutely. So I'm booking up quickly. How about I pencil you in for one of those 2 times? You check with your husband. I'll give you a call first thing tomorrow morning just to confirm that.
Okay. Maybe Thursday would work better.
Okay. This appointment, I don't know if I would attend it, to be honest with you. He didn't give me much. I sense there's not a lot of motivation to do anything in the immediate future. I could explain what I did throughout that call. So for starters, Mike calling from Keller Williams Real Estate, I pause because if they're not interested, I want to give them the space to tell me they're not interested or hang up on me so I can move on to the next person. As soon as I sense there is interest, I'll start asking questions about their motivation. Why do you want to move here? Why is it important to you? How's it going to change your life on a scale of 1 to 10? How important is it to you? What stopped you from moving up until this point in time? If I sense there's motivation there, I'll book the appointment. If there isn't motivation or enough motivation to make someone want to move in the immediate future, which for me is the next 3 months, I'm going to make the choice not to move.
Yeah. 100%. I think it's up to us to gauge and really dig deep on that motivation on the initial call to build the rapport. Cause like you were doing a great job of building rapport. Like I have kids, you have kids, that sort of thing. But the motivation is where we're going to actually get the pieces that are important. I would agree with you. I probably wouldn't have gone on that appointment either, but at least you booked the appointment. And that's better than just.
I would probably still book it.
Yeah.
Because it gives me a little confidence boost, a dopamine hit. But the next step in my process is to call and pre-qualify that appointment. And at that point in time, I would likely tell them what their home is worth over the phone, agree to keep in touch with them. I would not go to that person's house. The reason I say that, you look at our job as a realtor, there are five things we need to do, and we need to do them at a high level: lead generation, lead follow-up, script role play, go on appointments. Should be go on appointments with qualified prospects, not just go on appointments and negotiate contracts. If you don't go on appointments with qualified people, you're not going to be able to negotiate contracts. That's something I'm very mindful of. You as the seller do not care at all about wasting my time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike, come over, tell us what our house is worth. We would love that information. And me, the desperate realtor, will say, sure, when can I come over? I would love to tell you the value of your house. In the back of my head, I'm thinking, maybe I can build a relationship with Anna. So when she's ready in 3 years, I will be the person she decides to work with because I was courteous enough to come to her house and give her an hour of my time. It hasn't been my experience that it works that way. A lot of people will do that. I would rather just follow up with you for 3 years rather than wasting that hour on you when you're not truly prepared to sell. how about I stay in the office and script for an hour? So when at the 3-year mark, when you're ready, I'm a trained Marine and I come in and close you and defeat the person that has no skills and came to meet with you to build rapport.
Yeah, that's super important. I was also going to say only 6% of people will close right after the follow-up, or sorry, right after the prospecting, right? So if we're making a call and getting into an appointment, only about 6% of the qualified people that we work with will actually lead to a transaction, whereas the 94% will close in the follow-up. So that's where you have to decide, is my time worth going on this appointment? That might take a total of 2 hours from like the driving, the getting there, the preparation, and then the getting home. Or is that 2 hours better spent finding those qualified people? And most of the time, the answer is going to be finding the qualified people, right?
100%.
So that's a cold call. What kind of things are we looking for in that cold call to decide whether we want to take that appointment or not?
So totally agree with you that the majority of the time off a cold call, you're not going to take the appointment. But if I sense there's an immediate need to buy or sell, I'll start pre-qualifying them on that call. And I'll ask questions around their time. When is it you're planning on moving? At this point in time of the year, it's May. If I hear anything between now and say October, my ears perk up, because I know I can list their house now. It will take a month to sell, and I can close it out in 3-4 months, and they're moving in October. And I'll just push the motivation button. Why is it important to you? How's it going to change your life? And I am constantly taking them from a place of fear to pleasure. What do I do to bring someone to fear right now? We just came out of a treacherous market, or at least I hope we've come out of it. Seems like maybe we have. We had 7 different rate increases, which led to 7 different markets. In our market, prices came down by, I think they bottomed out at 29%.
Mm-hmm.
So my question to you, Anna, as the seller, is what if that happens again? I've been calling you for the last year. For the last year, I've been telling you the market keeps going down and down and down as the rates go up and up and up. We've experienced a little bit of a relief rally in the past few months. I know you're telling me you want to wait. If rates go up in a month on June 7th, do you think that will cause prices to go down?
Well, they would say, yeah.
And how long are you willing to stay in that house for prices to come back up in the event that they continue going down?
They're probably not going to be very comfortable at this point, and they're going to say one of two things. They're just going to say, like, I don't know, or they're going to try to give you an answer, but they don't necessarily have the knowledge to give you an answer that is correct.
Can you see yourself still living in this house in 5 years?
No.
I've lived through this before. In 2017, we saw a pullback of 15%. Do you know how long it took for the market to return to all-time highs after that 15% pullback?
How many years?
Took 3. Do you know that this recent pullback was double that of the 2017 pullback? But that being said, do you think it's possible that it takes double the amount of time for the market to return to all-time highs? It took 3 years in 2017. Is it possible that this time around it takes 6?
Mm-hmm.
I know you want $1 million for your house, and it seems, based on the comps, it's worth $900,000. Are you willing to wait 5 years to regain that $100,000? These numbers are fake. I'm making them up.
Yeah.
And then I'll break it down. $100,000 over 5 years. We're talking about $20,000 a year. Is it worth it for you to stay in your home for the next 5 years for $20,000 a year?
I think it's all about the creating curiosity. These are all things that they haven't considered. And as a seller, we want to inform them. We want to inform the sellers on what is going to be the best choice for them at the end of the day. Because it might not make sense to move right now. They might be in the worst possible spot to make a change. And in that scenario, we're obviously not going to force them to sell their home or give them the wrong info to make an informed decision. But in fact, the opposite. We have to just show them what is the opportunity or the door that is open that they might not even be aware of.
A really good one I've been using recently, I got it from Marianne Gillespie and it works like a charm. So the seller says, I want $1 million, but the comps are saying the thing is worth 800,000. And I know you've been living in the home for the last 20 years. I checked the land registry. It looks like you bought the house for 250,000. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, what's up?
What did you do to cause the home to go from $250,000 in value to 800,000?
Well, we haven't really done anything. We haven't renovated it. It's just we've done a bit of painting, a bit of sprucing, but no renovations.
Now let me ask you this. I know the house was worth $1 million at the peak of the market. It seems based on the comparables, it's now worth 800,000. What did you do to cause the value of your home to drop 200,000?
Nothing.
So it's come down by 200,000. You lived in the home for the last 20 years. So we're talking about $10,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
Are you willing to stay in your home for 5 years for $10,000 a year? Given your house has gone from 250,000 to 800,000, you've done nothing to make that happen. You've won the real estate lottery. Would you say 250,000 to 800,000 within that time period is winning the real estate lottery?
Well, yeah.
And that's exactly why we need to meet. I have tomorrow at 2 open, or I can do the following day at 3. What works best for you?
That's a really good one too.
And I have many more. Like you can say no to me all you want. I will keep pressing on you. And I will ask you 10 times until you either meet with me or you get frustrated with me and tell me to get lost. One of the two. Yeah. Very often, the prospect is going to say no the first time. We're trained to do that. My car salesman's trying to get me a new car. He's texted me for the first time, Mike, your lease is expiring in December. I have a brand new whatever available for you. I ignored his text. If he continues to hit me with that text over and over and over again, eventually I will get back to him and I will probably get in a new car as he likes before my lease is done in December. Mm-hmm. We're trained to say no. And I find on average, it probably takes me asking 7 times before I get an appointment.
Oh, definitely. And I think it's all about like not being discouraged if they are saying no. A lot of realtors tend to take rejection as a personal attack on them, but it's never about us. It's about the individual. It's about the seller or the buyer, whoever we're dealing with. They have their own life, their own concerns, their own responsibilities that they're dealing with. And by them saying no to us is not a no forever. It's a no right now. And we have to give them the guidance and the knowledge to be able to say yes. So what would you say is your best pre-qualification script? If we're talking about pre-qualification, well, first of all, what does that mean for those that don't know what a pre-qualification is?
So in my mind, a qualified buyer or seller is someone that's looking to do something within the next 90 days. So for me, if I'm speaking to you, Anna, and you're the potential seller, I want to truly figure out whether or not you're serious about doing something in the next 90 days. Because I know you're more than happy to waste my time and go over to your house. I'm not in the business to make friends. I'm in the business to meet clients, convert those clients, help them get where they're going and get paid as a result of that. So I can share with you exactly what I do when I pre-qualify someone. You want to script it or you want me to just go over it?
Yeah, let's script it.
Okay, so ring, ring, ring.
Hello?
Hi, would Anna be there, please?
Yeah, this is Anna.
Hi, Anna. It's Mike calling from Keller Williams Real Estate. We have an appointment in 3 days, and I just wanted to call to confirm that. I have you in for Friday at 2.
Yep, that's still correct.
So the reason I called 3 days before, if I call the day of, you might be getting groceries, you might be dropping your kids off at school, you might be doing God knows what. If I can't reach you, what do I do? Do I show up to your house and risk you not being there? Do I not show up to your house and risk you being there for the appointment that we agreed to? I always start 3 days out. So if I have 3 days to call you to confirm, my odds of getting you are pretty high.
Mhm.
So, Anna, I want to make sure I do the best job possible providing value to you when we meet on Friday. In order to do that, would it be okay if I just ask you a few quick questions about the home?
Yeah, 100%.
So how many beds is your home?
3 beds,
3 beds. How many bathrooms?
3 baths, 2.5.
3 baths.
Yeah.
Okay. And can you provide me with the approximate square footage?
I think it's about 1,500.
1,500. Okay. And your basement, is it finished, unfinished?
It's partially finished right now.
Okay.
Mhm.
And have you done any renovations to the home?
We painted, we updated the countertops in the kitchen, and we did a bit of the plumbing and a new roof, but no major
Okay.
renovations.
Okay. And what color are your kitchen cabinets?
They're black.
They're black. Okay. And what about the appliances? Are they black, white, stainless?
They're all stainless.
Stainless. Okay. When's the last time you updated the cabinets?
They came with the house when we bought it 6 years ago, so we haven't
Okay.
updated.
Okay. Sounds good. And then the flooring, is it carpet, laminate, hardwood?
So we have some engineered hardwood all throughout, except in the basement there's some tile, but it's not like ceramic tile, it's laminate tile.
Okay. And what about the washrooms? Have you updated those?
No, just as is when we bought it.
Okay. And on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being totally updated, 1 being your grandma's bathroom from the 50s, how updated would you say the washroom?
The washroom specifically, I would say maybe like a 6 or 7.
Okay. So the reason I'm doing this, everyone's definition of updated is different. City where I live, there are a lot of, I don't know if I can say this. There are people from a certain part of Europe who have different standards as to what updated is. For me, updated is engineered hardwood, nice new white kitchen, stainless appliances, quartz,
Or marble
countertops.
countertops, yeah.
So there are some people whose definition of updated is pink carpets and wallpaper from the 70s.
Mhm.
I want to really know what I'm walking into before I go to someone's house. That's why I ask a lot of detailed questions about what their house looks like. Next question I ask. So Anna, when I meet you on Friday at 2, will all decision makers be present?
Yeah, it'll be me and my husband.
Okay, perfect. And I'll check Geo Warehouse to make sure the people on title are going to be there.
Do you check that before or after the pre-qualification?
I check before.
Yeah. Okay.
So if it's you and your husband, and I notice there's another guy named John Marin on title, I'll ask, so who's John? I noticed there's a 3rd person on title. Will John be at the appointment also?
Yeah.
Next question I ask is, when are you planning on selling?
So like I told you when we first spoke, Mike, I'm thinking probably within the summer we want to be moved into a new place by September.
Okay, perfect. So if I was to have your house listed and sold within the next 90 days, would that be an issue?
No.
Okay. And are you planning on interviewing other agents?
Well, I know our neighbor is a realtor and he asked about coming by, but we're not sure yet.
Okay. And the reason I asked that question, some people like to be first to interview, others like to be last. I personally like to be first. I don't want to take the risk of you interviewing your neighbor and signing paperwork with them. I'm pretty confident that if I'm the first one to meet you, I'll get you signed. But personal preference. And on a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated are you to sell and move to this new home?
We're like a 9 or a 10.
Okay, pretty motivated. And in a perfect yet realistic world, how much are you looking to sell your house for?
Well, we know our neighbor sold for like 880, so I'm thinking probably around there.
Okay. If you have a minute, what I'd like to do is just check our system and see what homes of a similar size have been selling for in your area. That'd be okay?
Yeah.
The reason I do that, I never want to go to an appointment with you. Say your house is worth 880, but you told me you want 1-1. I want to share with you that everything in the area has sold for between 850 and 900,000, and ask you questions about your home. Why is your house worth 1.1 when everything I see that's around 1,500 square feet has been selling for 900,000?
Yeah.
Is there something I'm missing? A lot of times they'll tell you, I don't know, Anna, you're the expert. Come over and tell me what the house is worth. That's not acceptable to me. I'm not going to come over and tell you what your house is worth. I believe everyone has a number, and I need to know what that number is before I come see you.
Yeah.
There's certain things I
What's
do
the
to get that
expectation?
number. Yeah. So I get that number out of you in a couple ways. One is to share with you what has happened in the neighborhood. So let me take a look and see what is sold between 1,400 and 1,600 square feet in the last 30 days. Then I'll share with you what they sold for and ask you, is that in the ballpark of what you're looking for? Because that seems to be what homes of your size are trading for. Or I will do, so first I'll check and see this house is likely worth 900,000. And say, Anna, if I was to sell your house, so you're resisting. Mike, you're the expert. I'm not going to tell you what my house is worth. Come over and you tell me. Okay, fantastic. So is it okay if I ask you something?
Sure.
If I was to sell your house between 600 and 700,000, would that make you happy? Would you be okay with that?
Well, I wouldn't be overly excited, but we would still be making money from when we originally purchased it.
Okay, so there, I got a little bit of information. I know your house is worth 900. So I'm not expecting you to be happy about 600 to 700. Often they'll guess. Mike, if you're only going to get me 600,000, don't even waste your time. Don't even come over. I'm not saying I'm going to get you 600,000. I'm just asking if that will make you happier. Now I know. Okay. So if I was to get you between 700,000 and 800,000, would that make you happy?
Yeah.
Oh my God, don't waste your time. Don't even come over. Listen, I don't make the market. I just interpret it. It doesn't matter what I think. And I don't think your house is worth that. Your house is worth what a buyer's willing to pay for it. What if I was to get you between 800 and 900,000? That'd be better, but I'm still not happy. What about 900 and 950? Yes, that's better. There we go. I got my information. I know they want between 900 and 950. And I know that's a reasonable price because I already checked.
You know what that reminds me of? And this is like totally off topic, but it kind of related back to me when I was going through first aid classes. One of the things that you do when someone like breaks their arm or has some sort of, ailment in their body, you start on both sides of the injury and then you start healing until you feel the pain on both sides. So that's really what you're doing, is you're just trying to feel where their middle ground is or what their actual expectation is. I know that was totally off topic, but that's what it reminded me of. You're trying to pinpoint what the actual number that they want is without them actually being willing to open up and tell you what it is.
These little things from our, like that kind of thinking is so important. I think I'm always relating things to past experiences I've had. I can tell you exactly what I think, and like, that's a sales situation. Your sale is not to provide me with the information. My sale is to get that information out of you. There are two salespeople in every conversation we ever have. That could be with your spouse, that could be with a client, that could be between you and me, Anna. I am competitive. I don't want to lose. And I'm certainly not going to waste my time coming to your house if I don't have that information. So I will do whatever it takes to get that from you. So in my head, the little thing I tell myself is, I asked you what you do for a living. You told me you're an engineer. There's no effing way I'm going to get outsold by an engineer. Not today. So Mike, figure out a way to get the information. And as an engineer.
Especially in that circumstance, like that's a very analytical mindset too. So you want to be as prepared as possible.
And then final question. If the price is acceptable and you're confident that our team will do the best job of selling your house for top dollar, will you be ready to sign paperwork when we meet on Friday at 2 p.m.?
Yeah.
They normally say no, which
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
I was gonna say you're either gonna get a potentially or, well, I'll have to talk to my husband about it, but those are all objections that you can handle once you're with them in person as well.
The reason I say that is because I want to plant the seed. So you're prepared for me to come in with paperwork. And if you mentally prepare for that, you're more likely to sign it.
Yeah, it's a psychology thing too, for sure.
And then now we're at the appointment.
Yeah, I was gonna say, once you get to the appointment, what does it look like? I know we've done the 6% or the earning the full commission script before, but what does it look like? What are your most common objections when you're actually meeting with that client?
So if I execute at a high level, which I don't always do, but I try and do, most of the time, I don't get a lot of objections. If you have a bulletproof listing presentation, you carry yourself with a high level of confidence, you're not going to experience a lot of objections. This is something I've been thinking about a lot. My best friend, he just broke his ankle. So think about that. You break an arm or an ankle, whatever it may be. You go to a doctor. Your hope is that that doctor has experienced someone with a broken arm before and knows exactly what they need to do to fix that arm. I think that's what our sellers want. They don't want a nervous doctor. They want a doctor that has been in that situation 100 times. I'm nervous about my arm. I just snapped the thing in two. I need someone that's going to fix it. I've never snapped my arm before. I don't want a nervous doctor. Your clients don't want a nervous realtor. So you need to bring yourself to a place mentally where you can carry yourself with a lot of confidence when you're meeting with a seller. We always tell people 3 scariest things in the world are death, public speaking, and selling a house. They're already freaking out. They don't want a realtor in there that's freaking out also.
Imagine you went in to get like a cast on your arm and the doctor's like, oh my God, I've never done this before. And oh, this is so scary. And they're giving you the anxiety and putting it on you versus the other way around. If a doctor comes in, gloves on, okay, guys, give me whatever suture, stat, cast, let's go. And like right into the action plan with absolutely no, I guess, faltering or lack of awareness of what's going on. That obviously would be a lot more comfortable in that scenario versus the other one.
100%. I can give you another doctor analogy that I think about a lot. So let's say I broke my arm. I can approach you, Anna, as the doctor in one of 2 ways. Anna, I just broke my arm. Can you help me? What can you do to fix it? That's I think how most people will behave. Or I could approach it like this. Anna, I broke my arm. I have no experience in the medical field, but what I would like you to do is snap it back into position. You probably will need to cut it open in order to do that. Once it's done being cut open, I would like you to put a screw in it. And to make sure it's reinforced, put a second screw in it. Rather than stitch it up, I would like you to put the staples in it. That's how a lot of our sellers behave. Mike, I want you to list my house at this. Excuse me, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you're not a doctor. I'm going to give you the staples or the stitches based on what I feel is best. Because I'm the professional, and if you're not going to trust in my guidance, we're probably not a good fit to work together. The cool thing about a listing presentation, though, you make them feel as though they're making all those decisions throughout the process, when in reality they're not. You're just taking them and guiding them down the same path you guided everyone else down.
And it's always by providing the knowledge. If you give them the knowledge to make an informed decision, and in the back of your mind, you know which decision is right, but at the end of the day, you're leaving up that decision to them. So even when you're providing comparables, you're bringing 3 to 4 comparables with you. They know the one that is going to be most like their house by you just showing them. And likely just as a result of you saying, okay, well, which one is most like your home? Which one do you feel is most valued like your home? They're making the decision on price.
Yeah, Absolutely. So do you want to go through maybe the key components of a listing presentation and wrap it up with some objections?
Yeah, for sure.
So one, anyone listening that does this, don't do this. Never be late if you're not 5 minutes early or late. 5 minutes early doesn't mean going to the person's house 5 minutes early. You can sit outside until you're exactly on time. So I knock on the door, say, Mike, Keller Williams Real Estate. We had an appointment today at 3 and it's 3 o'clock when you come in. That's my way of telling you I'm on time. Then when I go in, yeah, I'm looking at their house. I want to form an understanding of what their home is. But as I'm walking through their home with them, I'm going over a model called FORD, which stands for Family, Occupation, Recreation, Dreams. I'm looking for photos of children, grandchildren. I have kids. I'm trying to tie that into my life. People want to work with people that are similar to them. So for me, at this phase of my life, someone has kids. I have kids. We're going through a very similar thing. And that's what I'll push on and talk about and ask them questions about. In this city, there are tons of people from the East Coast. I'm from the East Coast. I always tell people I'm from the East Coast because the odds of them being from the East Coast is surprisingly very high. Like half the time, I swear, they're from the East Coast or someone related to them is from the East Coast. Second that comes up, I got the business. So not everyone's from the East Coast, but we all have things that exist within our life that prospect can relate to. Exactly.
And that's all about building rapport. If you can't build the rapport from the first 10, 15 minutes that you're in that appointment, it's going to be really hard for you to get that person to sign. Like the rapport is where you're starting to build the trust and making sure that they know that you're a good person, that you're a professional, and that you're there to do something good for them. And that's selling their largest asset. If they can't trust you and they don't think that you're someone that they can relate to, the likelihood of them actually working with you is very slim.
So next, what I can tell you most realtors do is whip out the comps and say, here's house 1, 2, and 3. Based on this, I think your house is worth this. I don't do that. First, I want to set the tone for the appointment and explain to them what the appointment will look like. So Anna, there are a few things I want to cover today. Number one, I want to review your motivation to sell your house and decide on a price that will cause it to sell. Secondly, I want to answer any questions you may have. And then finally, I want to decide if I want to take your listing. I want you to decide if you'd like me to sell your house.
Okay.
And what a lot of my past clients have told me they're looking for in a realtor are things such as trustworthiness, a high moral compass, feedback, constant communication, selling a home at a satisfactory price. Anything that I did not mention to you that's important to you in hiring a realtor?
Usually no. That's pretty much it.
Okay. And of the things I mentioned, which would you say is most important to
Communication and trust are the most important for sure.
you? Okay. And is it important that the person you hire has a track record and does have the ability to negotiate the highest sale price for you?
Definitely.
So the reason I asked you that question is because there's a chance back in the appointment, you give me a commission objection. Mike, commission's too high. So-and-so is willing to do it at 4%. And I asked you a question about 20 minutes ago. Is it important to you that the person you hire has the ability to negotiate the highest price possible for you? If I can't negotiate my own commission, how do you expect me to negotiate an above average sale price for your house when it's your money on the line and not mine? That's why I asked that question. Next, I go deep into motivation. Then go over pricing. Here are the comps. Based on the comps, what do you think your house is worth? Ideally, they choose the right price. Normally they do, I find. I always follow that up with, when we list your house, 1 of 3 things is going to happen. 1, it will hit the market, it will sell quick, it might sell in competition, it might sell over the asking price. In the event that that happens, it means we priced the home properly and we've done a great job of marketing it. 2, we might get a good number of showings with no offers. If that happens, we're anywhere from 1 to 3% overpriced. 3, we might put the house up and get no showings or very low showings. In the event that that happens, we are anywhere from 3 to 10% overpriced.
Mhm.
At this point, I future pace them. So one thing I try and do a lot of is call people out on their BS before they've given me any BS. So Anna, when you hire a realtor, are you looking to hire someone that tells you what you want to hear or what you need to hear?
What I need to hear.
So I could do that. So in the event that scenario 2 or 3 takes place, your home is not selling, I will call you weekly, provide you with feedback. My expectation of you that after 2 weeks, in the event that the home hasn't sold, we reduce the price in accordance with the number of showings we're getting in your home. Now, I know when I do that, you're going to show up as one of 2 types of people. One, you'll understand that your home is overpriced. You'll reduce the price to meet the market and get the home sold within a reasonable period of time. 2, you'll be resistant to reducing the price. You'll hold out for that magical buyer that's willing to overpay for your home, and you won't reduce the price. Our days on market will run up. Now, of those 2 people, who are you going to show up as?
Would like to say that I'll be the one that will reduce the price so we can cause the property to sell.
Can't stress enough how important that is. Days on market is the enemy of a home's value. When buyers go out and shop for homes with their agents, they ask them a ton of questions about the home, obviously. Can you think of some of the questions they might ask them?
Like how old is the roof? When was it built? Furnace, AC. When was the
Absolutely.
plumbing done? Electricity, that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Without fail, they always ask, how long has the home been on the market? And the reason they do that is because their assumption is the longer the home is on the market, the better deal they can get.
That's true.
The last thing I want for you to be is in that, or for you is to be in that position.
Mhm.
So go over that, choose price, set the expectation around reductions, then go into the commission script. And throughout the whole process, I'm soft closing. So if Anna, if I was to have your house up on the market by the 31st of May, would that give you enough time to declutter your home?
Yeah.
Second you say that, I know I got you. Anna, would you be prepared to meet with our stager sometime next week so she can provide you with a list of exactly what you need to do in order to get the home prepared for sale?
Mhm.
Anna, would it be to your benefit if I was to pre-market your house between now and the 31st of May?
Yeah.
And I'll get you in the habit of telling me yes, 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 yes. Then the paperwork comes out. In order to start marketing your home, I need your permission. It is your home after all, it's not mine. I signed the light paperwork first, working with the realtor first. Then we move our way to the scary paperwork. The scariest paperwork is the front of the listing agreement with the price and the commission and the contract period. I do that last. So you've given me a ton of yeses. Then we do working with a realtor. I explain what that is. Then we go to the back page of the listing agreement, the middle page of the listing agreement. Then we fill out the front page of the listing agreement. I already have the price because we already discussed that. The whole thing is signed off on before I ever talk to you.
I think that's the best way to do it, to help them see that it's not as scary. Because that's really what it is. Objections and stalls a lot of the time is just a client that is fearful of the unknown or what is going to happen. They're thinking, well, what if my property doesn't sell? What if I don't get the price that I want? What if Mike turns out to be a sleazeball? What if?
Mm.
But we're walking them through it in a way that they can process it. And it's not about just getting them to sign, but it's about getting them to sign while fully understanding what they're getting themselves into. And like you said, future pacing for how they're going to show up.
Mm-hmm.
Because they probably haven't been through it before. If they have, it's not a common thing. Like they've maybe sold their property once or twice in their lifetime, maybe if that. So we need to show up with the right expectations on how we want them to treat us, but also how they want to be treated.
Mm-hmm. Future pacing is amazing. Like something as simple as saying, so Anna, just so I understand it, it sounds like you'd like me to begin marketing your house, not talking to the listing. Listing agreement is scary. Marketing is what I say. It sounds like it'd be a benefit to you if I seek feedback from some of the top producers in our board around pricing. It sounds like it'd be helpful to you if I built awareness amongst the buyer community around your house. So when you do put it up, there's a lineup of people interested in your home. Is it okay if I share something with you?
Yeah.
Based on my experience, what's going to happen next might give you a little bit of anxiety. Now, my mother told me to never trust the person that asked this, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Can you just trust me? I know it's going to make you nervous. I know you're going to be uncomfortable. Can you just trust me on this one? No, I can't trust you, Mike. I just met you. So what you're going to experience now is something I call penophobia. It's like I said, it's your house. It's not mine. I can't market your house without written permission. I haven't pulled the pen out, but I'm about to. It's in my bag. I'm going to pull it out. Your anxiety level is going to go through the roof. You're going to feel cortisol. Your face might go red. And you might get a little anxious. Can you just trust me when I say it's to your benefit to market the home and build awareness around it? 3 scariest things in the world are death, public speaking, terrible for me, trying to get better at it, selling a home. Just know that the emotions you're experiencing, if you do experience them, are very normal, and I'm here to support you. And I'll use that again when I sign that paperwork. I'll tell them that again. 3 scariest things are blah, 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 blah. When you wake up tomorrow morning and you want to cancel this contract because you're nervous, can you commit to me that you won't do that and that you'll call me? My job isn't just to sell your home for as much money as possible. It's also to support you emotionally.
That's huge.
Future pacing them. I know you're going to cancel tomorrow because the woman I met with yesterday tried to do that too. And the woman before that, and the woman before that. To call them out on canceling before they do it. When they wake up in the morning freaking out, wanting to cancel, they'll think, Mike warned me of that. Oh my God, this Mike guy really gets me. That's my dude, man.
Yeah, that's huge. And it's the psychology behind it. If we can, like, as much as every seller is very different, they all have the same anxieties. They all have typically the same pressures, the same thoughts that run. The situations are fairly similar. So just by adding those extra questions or statements into that script, help you just build that trust better. That's really what it's about, building the trust. I love that.
So should we go over a couple quick objections and handles?
Yeah, let's do maybe commission and price, and then we'll wrap it up. Those are definitely the most valuable ones, and I want to make sure that we touch on them. We also do have one of our episodes that goes into the full script around booking an appointment, and around the listing presentation. So we'll link it back to this episode so you guys can go watch it.
Yeah. Okay. So commission, kind of shared that one already. So at the beginning of the appointment, I'll ask what's important to you in hiring a realtor. I'll prompt them to say someone that can get the highest price because everyone cares about money. Then when they give me a commission objection, it's very simple. If I can't negotiate my own commission, how do you expect me to negotiate the sale price of your home when it's your money on the line and not mine? 9 times out of 10, I don't even use that. Then the premise around the commission script I use is this: our team will sign listings at 6% in the market where the average is 4%. So we let the seller know that when we're selling a home, selling their home, we're selling to 2 groups of people. 1 are buyers, 2 realtors. We attract buyers through price. We attract realtors through commission. Assumption is the more commission you advertise, the more interest you'll have from realtors in wanting to sell your house versus the one across the street or around the corner. And I just say at some point in the future, we'll receive an offer on your home. The offer is going to have a price, a deposit, a closing date, likely some conditions in this market, and then commission. We'll do the math. Price less commission is the net number to you. That's the number you should care about most. That's what you get to put in your pocket. If you're good with the math, good with the net number to you, pop the champagne, your house is sold. In the event that you're not good with the math, I have 3 options really. One, I can go to the other side and negotiate a higher sale price. In the event that that doesn't work, commission has to come down. I have to reduce my commission. Buyer agent will have to reduce their commission. In the event that that doesn't happen, I don't get to sell your house because you're the one that holds the pen. You're the one on title. You're the one with the keys. You're the one that has to sign on the dotted line. And if you're not absolutely satisfied with every single term on that agreement of purchase and sale, I know you're not going to sell your house.
Mm-hmm. Do people give a lot of pushback after you say all that? No, right?
Never. Then they ask. Then after I say that, I become the doctor who gets to behave like a doctor. At that point, they ask me, Mike, well, what do you think we should do? And I just say commission ranges anywhere from 4 to 6% in our market. Our recommendation is always that you less than the higher end of that scale. Knowing that in the event you don't get the result you want, we'll always reduce it at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't, unfortunately for me, I'm $5,000 a ton of time into your listing and I will earn no commission.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty valuable. We could definitely do another episode kind of following up on just objections, both from a prospecting perspective and from an appointment perspective. But that really covers the main meat and potatoes of what we deal with working with sellers. Buyers is a whole other story, which we can get into. But for seller side, as long as you're setting the expectations, giving them the knowledge to make an informed decision and helping them get away from the fear and into what the opportunity that could be.
Yeah.
That's all you have to focus on.
I find a lot of times too, sellers think if they list their house at 600,000, they're obligated to sell it. So this is probably one of the best scripts I have, best tools I have, and I don't talk about it that much. It's just saying, Anna, you do realize if we were to list your house at 600,000, I know you want a minimum 600, and you say you don't get 600, you're simply not going to sign off on the agreement of purchase and sale. And you're going to be sitting in the exact same chair in a month as you are today.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have to lose? You don't have to pay me anything. I only get paid if I sell your house. That will normally get people. That's a simple little statement.
Well, I think they think that if they're in a contract, they're locked into selling their property, but that's not the case. They sell their property once they've signed off on all the documents, they have an accepted offer, conditions are removed. Up until that point, they're still the owners. Nothing has changed from them signing with you to them not signing with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the other one, we said we were going to go over this, the competing with other realtors.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to go first. I use the same script every single time when I'm in competition. So I know you don't have a desire to spend your weekend interviewing realtors. You want to go hang out with Evan and live your life and hang out with Miles, your dog.
Yes.
No one, think about that. How silly is that? No one wants to spend the next 5 days interviewing realtors. We're not that interesting. Their assumption is that if I'm the first one in the door, I'm going to be an idiot. And then they're going to have to interview other realtors in order to find that perfect realtor. So my job is to be that perfect realtor. Once I show up as that perfect realtor, unfortunately, most people, not unfortunately, but a lot of people are very kind. They don't like to break a promise. You promised John from Remax you were going to meet with him tomorrow. And John's already planning on coming to your house. You don't want to break a promise by calling John and canceling that appointment. So I offer to take that burden off your plate. Anna, I know you're planning on interviewing 2 other realtors. It sounds like you have 1 appointment tomorrow and 1 on the next day, on Sunday. Do you mind if I ask you a quick question?
Yeah, what's up?
Is there anything I missed today or didn't share with you?
Mm-hmm. No, we just want to talk it over and we want to give
So I'm not
John.
even talking about that. I
Okay.
haven't even brought up John yet.
Okay.
Anything I missed today or
No,
anything additional I need to share with
no, I
you?
think you
Normally they'll say, Mike, you were so thorough. It was amazing. Based on what I did share with you, do you think I'm capable of selling your house for as much money as humanly possible in the market we're in today?
Yeah, we think you're capable.
So what I find with a lot of people is not that they want to spend their whole weekend interviewing other realtors, it's that they have pre-existing appointments with them. And they don't have it in their heart to call those realtors and cancel the appointment.
Mhm.
And what I'd like to do for you, Anna, is make those calls on your behalf. So if you were to provide me with their business cards, as soon as I leave today, I'll contact them, let them know that you're going to be working with me, and that for the next 2 weeks until May 31st, they can have exclusive access to the property. They bring their buyers through and provide us with a successful offer. We'll pay them their full commission. Does that sound fair?
Sounds fair, Mike.
Boom.
Oh,
Gotcha. It works every time.
yeah, for sure. It is the whole disappointment. Like that we tend to be as people, just people pleasers, like most of us. And they don't want to let someone down or, like you said, break a promise. It's very true.
Yeah. It's the same thing about the script I use on someone. Don't cancel tomorrow. 3 scariest things are this, and this. If you're nervous in the morning, it's normal. Don't cancel on me. Just call me and we'll talk our way through it. Can you commit to that? Yes. They never cancel after they commit to that because they don't want to break a promise.
I love that. Well, thanks for sharing all your wisdom. I think this was a super valuable episode and we're going to dive deeper. Thank you for Brian Fitzgerald submitting a request for us to focus on this and just the objections. So we'd love to hear from you guys. Make sure to like, subscribe, and let us know what you want to hear more about. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling, every day